Imagine this. You're driving to work. You're already running a little late, and suddenly your car makes a strange noise. Nothing dramatic, just a weird sound coming from somewhere under the hood. You lower the music and listen carefully. For a moment, you think, this might be a problem. Later that day, you check your bank account. $38. That's everything you have until the next paycheck. You search online for the possible issue. Estimated repair cost, around $300. Not small, but not catastrophic either. But $300 might as well be $3,000 right now. So you do what most people do. You ignore it. You turn the music back up and hope the problem goes away. But 2 months later, your car dies on the highway. Now you need a tow truck. Now the repair is $2,400. And now you're missing work because you can't get there.
That original $300 problem just became a financial disaster. And here's the uncomfortable truth. That wasn't bad luck. That was math. More specifically, the math of being broke. Because when you don't have money, life becomes more expensive. Economists call this the poverty premium. It means the less money you have, the more you often end up paying. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine 2 people buying boots. The first person buys a high-quality pair for $120. Those boots last 6 years. The second person can only afford a cheap pair for $25. They fall apart after 1 year. So every winter, they have to buy another pair. After 6 years, the first person spent $120. But the second person spent $150, and their feet were still wet every winter. In other words, the person with less money ended up paying more, and this pattern shows up everywhere. Take something as simple as groceries. If you have extra cash, you buy things in bulk. Large packages, lower price per item. But if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you buy the smallest option you can afford, which usually means paying more for the same product. The same thing happens with banking. Imagine you have $12 in your account. A subscription renews for $15. Your balance becomes negative $3. Then the bank charges you a $35 overdraft fee. Think about that. You borrowed $3 and paid $35 for it. That's an interest rate so extreme it would look illegal almost anywhere else. But it happens millions of times every year, and most of those fees come from people who already have the least money. Cars are another massive example. Someone with good credit buys a reliable used car with a low-interest loan. The car lasts 10 years, but someone with bad credit walks into a buy here, pay here dealership. The car might actually be worth $4,000, but it's sold for $9,000 with a 20% interest rate. By the time the loan is finished, they might pay $15,000 for a $4,000 car. They aren't just paying for transportation, they're paying a penalty for being broke. Financial stress actually affects how your brain works. Studies show worrying about money can reduce cognitive performance, similar to losing an entire night of sleep. So, when someone is struggling financially, they're forced to make the hardest decisions while mentally exhausted, which makes escaping the cycle even harder. So, how do you break this trap? Not with a lucky investment, not with a risky trade. The first step is much simpler. You stop the financial bleeding. And the most powerful tool for that is something surprisingly boring. A small emergency buffer. Even $500 to $1,000 can completely change how you deal with problems. Savings aren't just money sitting in a bank account. They're protection. Your money finally has a chance to move forward instead of constantly fixing problems. If you want to escape the poor trap, subscribe and like the video.